Well, it's another edition of the Coaches Show. Drury University Men's Hockey Program Division I. Coach Jeremy Law with us and assistant coach Cliff Cook with us. I'm Kevin Kline. I'm the public address announcer for D1 and D3 Drury Hockey. All home games are played right behind us as we're recording from Holdfast Brewing, Brightspeed Ice Park, the Stan Melton Arena, and the regular season has ended. We are now on our way to the National Tournament. So, guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
I am so excited about this particular conversation because we have not had the opportunity to talk about something that happened on Friday night's game, a loss. We have not had that opportunity all year long to talk about it.
I'm not
because
sure
you guys
I'm
only
as excited as you are about that.
Let me tell you something, Cookie. You don't laugh when there's wins. You don't smile
Fair.
when there's wins.
That's
when
fair.
you delivered a Monster Energy drink to the penalty box on the D3 game right after the loss on that Friday, you were smiling. Why?
Well, we hate losing. I mean, that's just, it's cliche as you can be. I hate losing more than I like winning. It's cliche, but it's true. But if you're going to lose, I think that was not the worst time in the world for us to have that. It was a bit of a wake-up call heading into what is the most important time of the year for us now as we're about to head to St. Louis for Nationals here in a couple weeks. So I think, yeah, it was a rough night. We didn't play our best by any stretch. Midland deserves all the credit in the world, their goaltender in particular. But, you know, we needed a wake-up call. It had been kind of smooth sailing for a while. We'd had some rough patches here and there, but we still found ways to win, and we didn't that night. So it was I hate to say you need a loss, but sometimes you might.
That's my question. Is there such a thing as a good loss?
Well, no.
No, but I like Cookie said, I think it definitely helped us rebound and play a lot better on Saturday, and that was one of our better games in the entire year. So I think the guys took the loss and turned it into a positive.
And I will add, the guys seem to really, and when you talk to KT and Halls here in a little bit, they might be able to reinforce this because we weren't in there. Intentionally, we weren't in there when they were having this team conversation. Is that it might have kind of brought the guys a little closer to say, hey, we've got to get this right. We've got to figure this out. This is a big thing we're doing right now.
You know, that's an interesting thing that I find about hockey, being around you guys all season long. Hockey seems to be the only sport that I know of where the players basically take over the locker room and the coaches don't.
I can't remember who said it. There's a great quote. It might have even been like someone like Bill Parcells, someone like that, much higher level than he and I have been at. But he said, there comes a time during the season when the players have to take control of the locker room. Obviously, we're going to do our jobs as coaches, but there comes that moment, especially at this level, where the players have to become the ones taking control of the locker room, holding each other accountable is the most important thing, and working for each other. And I think as much as we hate a loss, I think a loss like that is kind of a big step into creating that.
So, yeah, we're going to talk with the captains, KT Walters and Jakob Holley, in the second segment here. And I've actually already talked to them about this because I saw them both in the hallway after the Saturday night's victory. But we lost 2-1 on Friday. We come back and we win 4-1 on Saturday. Third time of the year that we've actually beaten Midland 4-1.
Yeah.
What's it about that score, man? That's amazing.
Yeah, we've done that with a few other teams too, where the scores have been the same, I notice. But yeah, it was a good game on Saturday, and we rebounded, and that's what we're looking for. So
now you guys are both, especially you, Jeremy, very, very familiar with Midland's head coach Jan Daum. Yep. Quality guy, great guy. So does that sting a little bit more that your friend beat you, or do you hey, you know what?
I don't think so. I'm happy for the program and what he's done with that program. And I told the guys, coming into that weekend, they have been playing playoff hockey since January. Mm-hmm. They've been on the cusp of being out of nationals, so they've had to, every game has counted so much more than what our games were counting. So we knew they were going to be playing their best hockey when they came in, and I told them before he got here, I said, hey, I'm definitely rooting for you guys to make nationals, and but not beat us by any means. But I knew they were playing good hockey, and we knew it was going to be a tough test.
Can I just say, based on that interruption we just had, It was minus 20 wind chill about 4 days ago. And now the doors are open at Holdfast. I'm wearing shorts. I think you're wearing
I'm in
shorts. I
shorts.
see the boys over here wearing shorts. It's almost 70 degrees out.
Well, the boys, you can't gauge your style off of the boys. I mean, geez, the other night when we watched the Four Nations, it was 10 degrees below zero, and Hunter Findley's out there with no socks and shorts.
That's Hunter.
Holley's wearing socks and sandals, so.
This is just fortuitous that Hunter's name came up. I had an opportunity to talk to him on Friday. He was then a healthy scratch. Now he is an unhealthy scratch because he injured his foot again. But I had a great conversation with him during warm-ups. And he said something to me that, and I'm bouncing back and forth here because Jan Dom says the same thing about his team that you say about yours, Cookie and Jeremy, and that is you go after character first, skill comes second. I learned so much from Hunter Findley. Hunter said, because he bounced back and forth between D1 and D3, and I said, what's the biggest difference between D1 and D3? Is it the speed? He goes, no. He goes, it's the discipline. He says, the D3 guys, they think this is never going to end. He says, the D1 guys, we know we only get 4 years for this. And then after 4 years, then we're playing men's league, pickup league, and it ain't the same.
No, that's very true. Now, we'll have a decent amount of guys from this group that will find a way to play at the next level.
Yeah.
We'll have some professional guys for sure, especially with this group. But that's true. And we went through it. Both of us were able to get to that next level. One of us played at that level. One of us was a healthy scratch at that level. But we got there. And so, eventually it becomes men's league. And we're all headed that way. And I say this, I've said this at every level I've ever coached. Even with guys we know we're going to have the opportunity to play at professional level, the one thing we also have to remember is all these kids, we'll call them kids even though they're grown men,
right,
eventually are going to have to be contributing members of society. So we're working as much off the ice as we are on the ice. And it's been an easier project with this group because, as you said, we've got such a great group of guys, just human beings. And it's going to be great to see where their futures lie, whether it's on or off the ice.
Yeah, Brett Lathan, who's the D3 coach, he told me that at the Christmas party. He says, my goal as a coach is to make better human beings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you guys are definitely doing that as well. The elephant in the room, I mean, you're wearing your shirt that says it. How unbearable has he been since the Four Nations loss of the United States to Canada?
You're probably asking the wrong guy because I was full throttle with just having a great game, and I was not too upset with the result, to be honest with you, even though I'm a Texan and an American. But
so go right ahead. Call us the 11th province.
It was a great game.
Was it a great game?
Yeah. But he doesn't know how many provinces there are anyway, so he would say 13th or 14th province. He doesn't even know.
Okay, let me ask you, because I watched the whole game. We had a watch party with all of the D1 players at the College Station Theaters. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later because we got a special thing happening there soon. But was it a good game?
It was a great game. I obviously happy Canada won. I think it could have gone either way. And I think if those teams played each other 10 times, it would be 5-5, 5 wins each. So it was a really good game.
But I thought that, and obviously you guys are more expert than this, I thought the third period, they were just playing to not lose. Then I thought in the overtime, both teams came out just trying to win.
Yeah, I think you're scared to make a mistake, and so as a player, you try to play a little safe, and I think they did that in the third. And then in overtime, I think once U.S. had those chances that didn't go in, it kind of just loosened up, and Canada scored shortly after.
It's funny, Jeremy and I were talking in the hallway after regulation ended. We were out in the hallway chatting with some of the guys, and ironically, this was brought up in the intermission broadcast as well as, like, you hate to be the guy that makes that mistake in overtime. You don't want to be that guy. And, Austin Matthews is getting a lot of crap for what he did. I didn't think what he did was the worst thing in the world. He went and attacked a guy. Yeah, he left someone wide open, but a great pass from his Maple Leafs teammate, Mitch Marner, and you just can't leave the best player in the world sitting there in the slot like that. So
yeah, I was going to say, Connor McDavid, not the guy you want to leave alone.
No. But again, I'm not going to, jump all over Austin Matthews like a lot of people are, because it's in that moment, it's a split-second decision to go try and take away the play, take away the pass, and a phenomenal player just like Austin Matthews made a phenomenal pass, and again, you're not going to leave Connor McJesus there in the slot. And
You know what
not
I
expect him
noticed
to
about
score.
that game, though, and I noticed this about the NHL because I watched I watched Ovechkin hat trick the other night. We'll talk about him in a moment. But what I learned about that is that anybody can score from anywhere in the attacking zone in the NHL. They're snipers. It's just so fast.
Yeah.
And the speed at which they shoot.
Yeah. And if the teams do such a good job of putting traffic in front of the net too, so a lot of times goalies aren't seeing those
And they're
pucks.
doing that against the best goaltenders in the world too. That's the other part. These guys are phenomenal, but the best scorers in the world make the best goaltenders in the world look dumb sometimes, and it's just mind-boggling.
Well, one of the things that I noticed in that game, the USA versus Canada for the Four Nations Cup, was the one-time passing by both teams. We got back into that as a Drury University team on Saturday night against Midland. We got back to our one-touch passing. It was beautiful.
That's always been a strength of ours this year, is our passing, like sharing the puck, moving the puck, supporting each other. And the two losses we had were games we didn't do that. So some of the other games we didn't play well is just trying to hold on to the puck too much.
Well, and Cookie and I talked about it after the McKendry series. He said, when you play teams that don't match up with us as well, some guys get bad habits.
Absolutely, yep.
And so that might have carried over into the Friday Midland game.
Yes and no, because I think the guys knew going in, Midland's a different animal. Number one, they've got a great goaltender, and he played great again this weekend. Number two, they're a really hard-working team. We kind of describe them as, we have the elite talent on our team where we roll 4 lines deep or elite talent. They have a bunch of, I would argue, second and third line type players, maybe even third and fourth line type players, where if you've got a whole team of that, there's nothing wrong with it because they're going to outwork a lot of teams.
They're grinders.
They just wear you down, and that's kind of what they did. Again, we did a lot to create the loss ourselves on Friday night, but I don't want to take anything away from what they did as well. They played hard. They did the right things. They took it to us, and their goaltender stood on his head.
So the McKendry series and the game that you guys went into overtime and won Purdue Northwest, we waited until like the third period to kick it in, right? I mean, that's my assessment was we went through the motions in period 1 and 2, and then in period number 3, we just kick it in because we know we have to. I thought the Saturday Midland game was a 60-minute effort from start to finish.
Yeah, I think you even said that.
That was one of our best complete games, absolutely. And I think it all was on the guys. Like they were, frustrated from the loss the night before, and they knew we had to play better going into nationals. Like that wasn't going to cut it. So it was the effort they put forward, and we didn't change anything system-wise. It was all the effort they put.
That goes back to the original conversation. That wasn't Jeremy and I having anything special to say to the guys. We left it on the two guys you're about to speak to, the other captains, the leadership of the team. We went over a couple things real quick with video. Like we were in there maybe 2-3 minutes. Normally it's about a 5-10 minute conversation. We were in there about 2-3 minutes and then turned it over to the leadership, and we left the room. And like we said earlier, there comes that point where the team has to take over the room. We'll give them the systems, we'll give them all that stuff, but they've got to take over the accountability for each other. And we saw the result on Saturday night that, while the score was a 3-goal game, I would agree with Jeremy, that was probably our most complete game.
Yeah. And one of the players that got the Andy's Frozen Custard Player of the Game, Anmol Garcha, on Saturday night. But Cookie, after that game, you and I talked. It doesn't show up in the stats, but Jamison St. Clair played a hell of a weekend.
He had a good weekend. Yeah, it was probably one of his best. We've been working with him a lot on. He's an extremely aggressive defenseman. He wants to be in the offensive zone, playing offense. And as Jeremy and I have both told him, if you just pull back a bit, play defense first, and pick your moments to go. We said it all year. He's one of, if not the fastest guys in this league. He's got speed to kill, but he overdoes it at times. And he's got the talent to do it. But when we finally were able this past weekend to rein him in a little bit and say, play defense first, you're going to have your moments to go. I mean, from a defensive standpoint, that was probably his best game. And by doing that, he created opportunities for himself on the offensive side. And that's the part we've been trying to kind of get through. And it's not just him, it's other guys too. But, you do the job you're there for first, the other stuff kind of falls into place.
Well, and one of the great things about your entire team is every single one of them are so cerebral. They're intelligent kids.
Yes, very intelligent. off the ice and on the ice. Like our hockey IQ is through the roof. So out of all the years Cookie and I have been doing this and together, by far this team has the best hockey IQ we've had.
We said it a few weeks ago, and this is probably not the greatest thing for us to say, but we've done less coaching this year than we've done in the past. Not to say we're not working on a lot of stuff all the time, but these guys know what they're doing, and we don't want to rock the boat too much. We're not trying to change anybody. The St. Clair situation, we're not trying to change who Jamison is. We're trying to kind of rein in what he does to make him more effective. And that same could be said for a lot of guys. But their hockey IQs are high enough. We don't have to change anything, but it allows us to actually add things that we haven't been able to do in the past, whether it's certain systems or face-off plays or things like that. And it's exciting for us to be able to do that.
You both are veteran coaches. How much fun has this season been?
Yeah, winning makes the season a lot more fun for sure. So it's fun. It's been fun. It's been a great year. Such a good group of guys, and the fun is the most fun is still to come. So
that's the thing. Yes, the winning makes it fun. That's it's easy to have fun when you're winning, but it's also great being around this group of guys. It's just a phenomenal group of guys. Moving forward into next year, if we're bringing new guys in, we're relying on current guys that know recruits we have to make sure that cohesion stays together, that we're not bringing someone in that's going to screw up the locker room at all. All these guys are going to be able to mesh right away, and it's a great feeling.
It's an awesome product. It's awesome to be a part of it. It's so cool to watch these guys. We were talking about the intensity of the Canada-USA. I couldn't have gave a crud less who won that game or not. But when I'm at a Drury hockey game, I want the best for those boys.
Yep.
Trish and I always say it. We're like, they're like our little team of sons. You know?
Yeah, it really is a family environment here, and I feel the same about all the guys. I'd run through a wall for them, and I know they do the same for us.
Yeah, well, they do run through walls for you. It's sometimes it's the boards, sometimes it's the goal, sometimes it's the crease, it's the net, it's all that kind of stuff. But guys, we're going to talk to the two captains. We've got Jakob Holley and KT Walters coming up in segment number 2, and then you're gone for segment number 3 because your daughter is continuing her education.
9-year-old homework to do here.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, I won't get a chance to tell you this in the 3rd segment, but thank you for bringing me on this year.
Absolutely.
Like I just said, that this is a family to us, and Trish and I are still grateful to be a part of it.
Couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, coming up on segment number 2, the two captains, and we're going to actually go inside the locker room on Friday night after the loss, and then on Saturday before the game and after the game. And then I'm going to put the boys on the spot with a quick question for them. We're at Holdfast Brewing. It is the Drury University Coaches Show, and we will be right back with segment number 2. It is the Drury University Coaches Show. Segment number 2, we always highlight some of the players on the D1 team, and actually we started the year with you guys, and here we are ending the regular season with our two captains, Jakob Holley and KT Walters. Guys, welcome to the program.
Good to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Great to have you guys here. I told you earlier, KT, that Jake, this is really hard for me because I absolutely adore both of you guys. I love both of you guys. You're two of my most favorite people to talk to on the planet. And so try not to fanboy too much, but let's just jump into Friday. The 2-1 loss ends the winning streak. What was said after the game in the locker room?
Not too much, to be honest. I mean, we were pretty disappointed in ourselves. There wasn't too much to be said. I don't even think our coaches had too much to say either, other than just put this one behind us and let's be ready for tomorrow, because it's over now and we just got to focus on tomorrow's game. But yeah, Friday night stung for sure, especially to finish off our 23-game win streak. But like Cookie and J-Law were saying at the same time, maybe that was a wake-up call for us. Because the next night we came out and we did play a full 60 minutes and we played one of our best games of the year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that game. What was said by you, Jake, after the Friday night game? I mean, because Cookie and Lawsy both said, we left it up to the players. So, how much responsibility is there in that locker room on you two?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on me, KT, and other captains, Francis and Ashton. The team looks up to us and looks at us for, advice, support, and, just morale overall. After the Friday game, we lost, unfortunately, and there really wasn't anything said in the locker room. I mean, we all kind of just sat there and let it soak in, we lost, it sucks, and, we don't like this feeling. But then it comes to Saturday, and like Cookie and J-Law said, they left it up to, the locker room, and that's when me, KT, Aston, and Francis stepped up. I told the guys, this is our playoffs. Our playoffs start now. I think we had another level to get to that we haven't had all year. And I think, the guys knew that as well. And having that playoff mentality going to Saturday, we were preparing not only, to, start a new winning streak, but for playoffs and nationals to come up here in a couple weeks. So, yeah, we played way better on Saturday. I thought a full complete 60, and that was a playoff-style hockey, I thought. And that's, I'm proud of the guys for rallying back and not letting a loss, a tough one at that, dwell on us. So.
Well, you and I had an opportunity to talk after Saturday's game, Jake, and I mentioned to you, you seem to be in a lot of the altercation action, and I asked you, was it you trying to get in there and tussle with people, or was it people trying to target you? And you had an interesting answer. Remember?
Yeah, so, me being a smaller guy, if someone's a bigger guy, they're not really happy if I'm up in their face or hitting them or talking crap to them or whatever. But, I'm going to do whatever I can to get in the opponent's head. And, being a smaller guy, I'll take shots all day. I'll take cheap shots all day. I'll get hit from behind. I'll take punches to the face as long as, it gives our team an opportunity on the power play and let guys like KT and the other power play units to do their thing. So
you were out there trying to draw penalties.
Yeah, I was out there. That was kind of my goal going into Saturday was, play playoff-style hockey and draw penalties and, get in the other opponent's head. And I think I drew about 3 or 4 penalties that game. So.
You did. And the other thing that you told me was you wanted to go out there from shift number 1 and set the tone. Set the tone. It's what happened with Canada and the USA when the USA played Canada in Canada. Kachuk brothers went out and set the tone. So, KT, how do you go out and set the tone?
Just play my game. Speed, get it on the forecheck, try and steal pucks off the defenders, make plays, make passes, quick passes, get shots on net. I think right away on my first shift as a centerman, I always, to set the tone, I like to try and win the first face-off of the game. And that's kind of like a little win in my head if I could win that first face-off and then go from there and try and lay a hit, get a shot on net, little stuff like that.
Well, let's talk about that shot on net that you got in Saturday's game. I've been watching hockey since I was a sophomore in high school, and it was one of the prettiest, if not the prettiest goals I've ever seen. Take us through that play. You know what I'm talking about, the slap shot from the face-off circle?
Yeah, I think I just got on the ice. I just jumped over the boards, so I was only on the ice for maybe 5 seconds, and Truchan had the puck, and I screamed for the puck. I'm not sure if he saw me, but he heard me, and he just dished off a little backhand saucer pass across ice to me, and the puck was just sitting there, and I just tried to shoot as hard as I could, and then it went in. So, yeah.
It was beautiful. Wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it was a sick shot. You saw the water bottle just explode, the cap went flying, the whole bench was going nuts. It was pretty awesome.
So I've spoken to both of you individually. Jake, here's what I told KT about you. Anytime you're out there, I know we're going to see 110%. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You just go and go and go. Here's what I said about KT. When he's out there, I have the utmost confidence that nothing bad is going to happen. I think he's the smoothest player. There's no panic in his game, okay? I am so confident when both of you guys are out there. So, what teammate gives you the most confidence?
I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head, but just the whole team. I think everyone throughout the lineup, I have confidence in everybody, whoever's on the ice at all times. I think we have a really good and deep team, and especially our goaltending. I'm always confident with our goalies, whoever's playing, whether it's Kuchazlo, Sweet, or Robbie. The stats speak for themselves. They all have really good stats, and with any goalie, I'm really confident in them, stepping up and being there for us, especially in tight games and when we can't get a goal. It's frustrating, and hockey's a game of momentum. So there's times when the other teams, are piling shots or, have really good opportunities, but we have such good goaltending, and I'm so confident all three of those guys and any one of them to, keep us in a game and let us get back to work and do what we do.
Yeah, I agree with Halls. Our goaltending for sure, and just everybody on the team. But if I had to pick one guy on the team that gives me the most confidence, I would have to say Matthew Johnston.
Your cousin.
Yeah, my cousin. I mean, maybe it's because I've played with him for the last 3 years, but whenever he has the puck, he never seems to make a bad play. He always protects the puck. He makes the right play. If he's at the red line and there's a guy right on him and he needs to get the puck in deep, he's going to get the puck in deep. And if he's in the defensive zone, he knows how to get the puck out smoothly and cleanly. And that's one guy that I've noticed. He seems to always be in the right spot and make the right play.
Yeah, well, familiarity breeds, they say familiarity breeds contempt, but I think in this instance, familiarity breeds confidence, right?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the viewing party that we all went to the other day. Canada won. What I found interesting was we were over at the College Theater and we were watching the finals of the Four Nations face-off, Canada versus the USA, and I think we might have 20 or 22 Canadians on our team, and I think we only have like 4 or 5 Americans on our team. And all the Canadians, Jake, were sitting down together, and all the Americans were sitting up in the back row together. So how was it at practice the next day after Canada won, the inaugural Four Nations?
Oh yeah, it sucks being American. You always want your country to win, but after the game was over, I mean, there's jokes said and shots thrown, or jabs, but after that, it was kind of just, it's behind us. Let's have fun. So just come back together as a team. I mean, it's not something that's gonna, affect us personally. So I think, it sucked, but and then all the jokes made were, funny.
11th province, all that kind of stuff.
But, I mean, I think if anything, it brought us closer because that's a huge tournament, and not only for like the hockey players, but the whole the country.
The
sport. It brought so many people that don't even watch hockey.
Dude, 9 million viewers in America, 7 million viewers. I'm sorry, 9 million viewers in America, 7 million viewers in Canada. I mean, we still got them strength in numbers there, buddy. It was a massive hockey moment for the sport all over the world. Let's talk about nationals, guys, because nationals are coming up. That's the second season, but it's the most important season. National tournament. We find out where we're ranked here pretty soon, but what's the mentality going into nationals?
I think our mentality is no matter where we finish ranked, we're going to have to take out every team no matter what anyways. So it doesn't matter who we play in the first game, who we play in the second game. We're going to have to beat all these teams anyways, right, to win the national championship. So I think as a group, we just have the confidence going in there knowing that it doesn't matter if we play the 24th ranked team or the first ranked team, we have to beat them all. So, and every game is going to be a tough game too. Everybody's there for a reason. Every team that's going to be there is, has good players, has good coaching, has a good team, but so do we. So we just got to go in there with confidence, and we'll be ready to go. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, we'll be there watching. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. So, what was your goal at the beginning of the year, Jake? Goals. What?
Obviously getting named captain right away. My goal for the team was to make nationals, to make playoffs. A lot of my goals are more team-based, not personal-based. I've always kind of just been a team-first type of guy. My goals set out were, to be the best leader I can be for this team, for the group, become a better person, a better player, and then also, make the national tournament and, make a run. I would like to say I've had a pretty complete, hockey career, but the one thing I haven't done is won a championship, and that's really what I want to do is win a championship. So,
how close to the goals have you come, KT?
Same with Halls. I think from the beginning of the year, the number one thing that even before I got here was national tournament. That's where we want to go, and when we get there, we want to win. And just like Halls said too, my whole junior career, I haven't been able to win a championship yet. And I think this is the best group that we got to give us the best chance of winning. So
nice. Well, we can't wait to see it. I know that we do have a fan back in Vernon, British Columbia, Canada, watching the broadcast. So do you want to say hi to anybody in particular?
You're talking about my girlfriend, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hi, Kylie.
So, Jake, this is so funny. So at the intermission before the Four Nations game, between intermission number period 1 and 2, I'm going out to go get something to drink, and I see KT and his girlfriend. And here's how he introduces her to me. Hey, this is my Canadian girlfriend. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, where's the Russian, Sweden, Finland? I didn't say it, but I was like, I told that to Trish, my wife, and she said, you did not say that. I'm like, no, I didn't say it. But she's a sweet girl.
Yeah, she is, for sure.
And the Hales, she's awesome.
Thank you, appreciate it, and I'm sure she appreciates that too. She has highly kind words to say about you as well. I mean, the few conversations you guys have had, she said you're a really great person, so.
I appreciate that. Well, none greater than these two guys. Jakob Holley, KT Walters, your co-captains of the Drury University Division I men's team. Guys, much success to you. Can't wait to see you in Nationals. Thanks for joining us on segment number 2.
Thanks, Kev.
Thank you.
Segment 3 coming up. We're going to wrap it up with Coach Cliff Cook at Hold Fast Brewing, the coaches show for Drury University men's hockey. Drury University Coaches Show at Hold Fast Brewing. I'm Kevin Kline, the public address announcer for Drury University Hockey D1 and D3. And in this third period, we are going to talk with assistant coach Cliff Cook. You know, Cookie, I was fortunate enough to be at the orientation meeting where you guys laid out the goals for the season. What goals were achieved this year?
We've achieved pretty much all of them so far. Obviously, now we're into the next step. Getting to nationals was the first goal. Obviously having a winning record, coming together as a team, those are always goals. I think if Jeremy was here, he'd probably agree with me, and this is nothing against our team, and we've had this conversation. If you'd have told me back in August we were going to be 26-2, I would have thought, well, that's great, but might be slightly unrealistic as a first-year team. But everything just kind of fell into place. And, I think an argument could be made, and anyone who's watching this might think I'm nuts for even saying it, but I think anybody who's paid close attention this year is we could very easily be 28-0 right now, without question. The 2 losses, and again, as I've said earlier, taking nothing away from Midland last Friday, taking nothing away from UCO, who, with everything they've gone through this year, ended up having a phenomenal season. But I think we've accomplished what we set out to accomplish, and now it's time to really see where we're at.
This is our first year as a Division I program.
Yeah.
Moving forward next year, I know in the first year it's kind of difficult to find teams because nobody wants to find out if you're good enough to hang with them.
Exactly. And the one bonus we had this year, which allowed us to get some of the better teams, not as many as we wanted, was Jeremy in particular, but the two of us having the experience of being at Missouri State. He was there 6 years, I was there 3. So other teams knew we were going to bring something competitive. They might not have expected what we ended up with. But it allowed us to get some of those better teams. And now, as you've kind of alluded to, and we've talked about it in the past, we'll have a schedule announcement, in the coming months. Don't have an exact date on that. It's finalized, but we're just going to kind of let that play out a bit. But, the schedule for next year is even tougher than it was this year, which, again, this year was tough, but not as tough as it should have, could have been. Next year it's going to be a lot tougher, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to Nationals too. So walk us through Nationals. We'll find out by the time this posts, we'll know where we're ranked and where we're playing.
So we're, as we're sitting here recording this at 6:45 on Monday night, we're about 26 hours away from knowing where we're going to end up. And there's going to be a watch party tomorrow night. Again, by the time this comes out, that will have been done. I'll probably, as I'm speaking right now, I will have some clips going over this of the watch party that's going to happen in a room about 40 feet that way here at Holdfast. But we'll have an idea where we're going to be. We think we know where we're going to end up. Our buddy Chris Perry, I hope you're watching this. He's messing with us today, and I know there's probably about 10 or 12 other coaches that were messing with him all day trying to get the inside scoop. Where is it at? Where are we at? And he just wouldn't fall for it. I tried tricks. Jeremy tried tricks just to see where we're at.
Because the gist in finding out where
It's
you're at
important
means
that-
you can prepare.
Well, I think there's 2 or 3 teams right where we are that it's actually more important than other teams. And for one huge reason. So right now we're number 8. 26 hours, we might be number 8, we might be number 9. The difference between 8 and 9 is you're either, if you're playing 8, you get the first 2 days off at Nationals, you don't play till Saturday. If you're 9, you have to play Thursday. It's an extra game. If you finish 9, you got to win 5 games. You finish 8, you only got to win 4 games. So it's we joke about it, but for a team in our situation and a team in Utah, University of Utah, they're at 9 right now. University of Maryville, who's good friends of ours, or Maryville University, they're 10. And we're not going to, I don't see any reason, any way we're going to catch number 7 Niagara. But that 8, 9, 10, we're kind of all right together. And to throw a little bit more in the mix, Grand Canyon University had a huge weekend against UNLV this weekend. They won a game and tied a game. They could potentially jump in the mix as well. So right in that group, we'd love to say 8, not have to play till Saturday. But, you heard KT and Halls talk about it. We're going to play whoever they put in front of us.
Right.
But it is nice to know, we've already started the scouting process. And then Chris, being Chris, he's a little, can't say those words on this broadcast, but he's a good friend, but he's a little pain in the ass. He was messing with us today and had us thinking that even lower was a possibility. So now all the scouting we've already kind of done might get thrown out the window depending on if we end up falling to potentially even 10. I don't see that happening. I don't see any scenario where we fall to 10. I think he's just messing with us. And he even said in the message, I might be effing with you. And it worked because he had me messed in the head all day today.
It'll be a sleepless night.
Yeah, so.
But here's the deal.
But it really won't because, again, I go back to, we're going to play whoever they put in front of us.
Yeah, you're in.
We're in. That's not a scenario. Some friends of ours had a game today where they had to win to get in, and they didn't quite make it. I feel terrible for them. They're good friends of ours. And today they just didn't quite have it, lost in double overtime. I feel terrible for those guys. We're not in a win and end scenario right now. We're in.
Yeah.
It's just where are we? But once we get there, it's single elimination.
Yeah, well, let's talk, though, about the difference for Drury University in being number 8 or being number 9. Being number 8, you don't have to get up there until Friday. So budgetary-wise, that is optimal.
It makes a, we try, although I think anybody who's watched our social media lately knows we're not trying very hard to avoid the budgetary side of things because we have a lot of fundraisers going on, and it's just a reality of the situation. Especially when you have the success we've had this year, and now we are going to Nationals, and not knowing until tomorrow night whether we're playing Thursday or Saturday, it makes a huge impact on what that financial impact is going to Nationals. It's not going to keep us from going by any stretch of the imagination. That'll never happen, but it is what it is, as cliche is.
Well, there are a couple of fundraisers that are still going on, including the March 21st raffle.
Yep.
The raffle is for a pair of tickets, section 125, row J, seats 3 and 4, for the April 6th game between the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche. One ticket is $5. 5 tickets, $20, 30 tickets, $100, and you can get those. There's a QR code, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, on our social media, there's a QR code for that. In fact, I might go ahead. As some people know, I handle the social media for us. So if I might just go ahead and throw the link up there to make it easier for some that can't deal with the QR code. I'm fully aware I have issues with that at times too, but. As I've said, and I think at our last show, I can vouch for those seats. I've sat in those seats. It's a good friend of the program that has donated those. I've been in those seats a couple times. It is prime viewing. It's a great place to watch a hockey game. Not that there's a bad one, but if you're going to pick one, it's a great spot to watch.
Yeah, well, it's 2 of my favorite teams of all time.
Well, and it's going to be potentially by that point an important game for both teams too.
Yeah.
So that's
playoff implications.
Absolutely, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Well, there's a great reason why Drury University hockey is going to the national tournament, and that is because we have a solid lineup of players up and down. And you heard Holley and you heard KT talk about, the people that instill confidence in them. We have 3 goaltenders that, they're tops in the league, and then KT getting to play with his cousin Matthew Johnston. What excites you about the Nationals with this team?
I think just where we're at as a group right now. Obviously, it's been a fantastic year, but I like where our locker room is right now. The guys are together. Again, we go back, we've talked about it already, that Friday game we lost. Hate losing, never want to lose, but it really kind of brought the guys together. We turned, not that we hadn't done this already, it happened at Purdue Northwest going into the third period and all that into overtime. We kind of turned it over to the players. Jeremy and I talked, in particular going into Saturday's game, we weren't even going to talk to him at all. And it wasn't like we were mad at him or anything like that. We just said, hey, we need the leadership in that room and everybody to come together and say, we as a group in this room have to be the ones to do it. There's only so much Jeremy and I can do, whether it's in practice or on the bench. Once they're on the ice, it's on them. And they know that. We've been there. We know that. And they came together. And now it's just up to us as an entire team over these next few weeks. It's hard. We've got essentially 3.5 weeks till we play again. It's how do we maintain the momentum, maintain the focus, do what we need to do to be prepared. But it's on. This is where it is on us as coaches to maintain where we are.
Well, it's almost like a Christmas break. It's that long. But let's talk about what happened after Christmas break. This team came back on fire.
Well, and frankly, we can even go back to the conversation about the Washington Capitals too. They were the only contending team in the NHL that did not have a single player at the Four Nations face-off.
Yeah, true.
They came back and in 2 games just scored 15 goals. If we want to use that as inspiration, if we want to use what we did after Christmas as inspiration, we'll take whatever we can get at this point.
Absolutely.
And that is, we do have this time off. A bunch of teams played this past weekend. I know for a fact there's some teams playing next weekend. So it's up to us, again, to maintain that momentum moving forward. We're going to be fresh. We know that because of the time off. We're not going to have any health concerns other than a couple guys that unfortunately are done for the year.
Is it the same time off for all players, for all teams?
No, because again, like I said, I know
conference tournaments, right?
Well, conference tournaments ended this past weekend.
Okay.
But I know there are teams that have already scheduled games for next weekend. I heard there's even a couple teams that are playing even the weekend before Nationals. I don't know why anybody would do that. And as we've discussed back in the fall, we were supposed to play this past weekend.
Right.
And unfortunately that didn't work out to go out to Alabama. In hindsight, it's questionable. Would it have helped us as far as what's going to happen tomorrow night? I can't really answer that. I probably not as much as the loss on Friday hurt us.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see tomorrow night how much it did hurt us. But yeah, there's going to be teams that are playing more games leading up, in a closer time frame to the Nationals than we are. I guess we'll find out who has the advantage once we get there.
Yeah.
So.
I think we'll have the advantage because we have Coach Cook, we have Jeremy Law, and we've got some of the most talented hockey players I've ever seen at this level. Coach, it's been a blast this whole season. I know we're going to do one more coaches show after Nationals, but I always tell you and Jeremy that Trish and I are so blessed to be a part of this program, so thank you very much.
No, thank you. And again, you mentioned it at the very beginning of the show. We do have another special event coming up we want to talk about. Involves you specifically. I'm personally incredibly excited about this, and we'll show a trailer of this amazing film at the end of this show. But I would like for you to kind of discuss what we're gonna see here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so we're doing a fundraiser for the hockey program, and the fundraiser is going to be a screening of a documentary film that was made about a run that I did in 2019. We're showing it on Sunday, March 9th at 3 p.m. over at the College Station Theaters, the old Hollywood Theaters, right off the square, just steps from where we are at Holdfast Brewing. Anyway, I tried to become the first person in the world to ever run the 304 most northern miles of the Dalton Highway, which is the 10th most dangerous road in the world and the most dangerous road in North America. It starts at the Arctic Circle and went to the Arctic Ocean, and did it over 9 days, and was average temperature of minus 27, got down to minus 40 one day. Here's the thing about the minus 40 day. We were getting dressed to go out and run, and this is above Fairbanks, Alaska, and the news meteorologist comes on and says, you know, not wind chill, it's actually minus 40 today, so limit your outdoor activity to 15 minutes at a time.
So you went for a run.
And I looked at my crew chief and I said, he said 15 hours, right? Because that's how long we were going to be out there. And yeah, so it was actually about 12 hours that we were out there at minus 40. So, but anyway, the run is chronicled in this movie called Delivering Hope, and you know, come on out and see it. It's not available to the public yet, so.
It's going to be special.
McCreary saw it.
McCreary has seen it. Yeah, he told me that. No, I'm incredibly excited about this, and you know what you and Trish have done with your foundation is incredible, and we're here for you. We're here to support you. Stay tuned for maybe a little special event next year. We'll see if we have a new scene. You know, on behalf of the Snowdrop Foundation, we'll put some information in the description below this. I feel like a YouTuber now. Down in the description.
Yeah, click the link below.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Or watch enough YouTube at this point. I think I've got it down. Hit that notification bell. But no, in all seriousness, definitely make sure, get your tickets, come out to this screening. Watch, again, at the end of the show, we'll have the trailer for it. And even the trailer will just blow your mind. It did me. I can't wait to see this.
I'm glad, buddy.
You're an amazing person, but damn, you're crazy.
I'll take the latter rather than the former. But anyway, Cookie, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
And congratulations on a hell of a season already, and let's go take it to Nationals.
Absolutely.
That is going to wrap it up at Holdfast Brewing, the final regular season coaches show. We will talk to Coach Jeremy Law and Coach Cliff Cook and some of the players after we win Nationals. Drury University Hockey. I'm Kevin Kline. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be hard because of the terrain. The first 3 days are hilly. They're rolling hills. The fourth day, we actually have to climb a 4,500-foot mountain.
I think he's definitely crazy. He told me about the threats from moose and fox and bears.
Oh, the whole purpose of Delivering Hope was to take names of pediatric cancer patients to the virtual top of the world, which is how they feel when they ring the end of their treatment bell.
Anybody running that amount of distance over that amount of time, 40 miles a day over 7 or 8 days, that's a lot on your body. And then you throw in the mix, the environment that he's going to be in, the weather.
It's 24 and a half at 2 degrees. That's about a negative 25 wind chill roughly, and it hurts like hell, I'll tell you, standing right here.
Hey!